is Jayen Mehta. I'm the Managing Director of Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, popularly selling its products under the Amul brand. I've been working in Amul for the last 35 years, and I started my education with post-graduation in rural management from the Institute of Rural Management in Anand, which is now Tribhuvan Sahakari University, and joined Amul. And I've been in this organization for the last 35 years, handling various functions in marketing, sales, brand management, international business. And for the last 3 years, I'm working as the managing director. Amul was formed in the year 1946, almost a year prior to India's independence. We started with just 2 village cooperative societies and 250 liters of milk. And ever since then, now we are today having 3.6 million farmer members spread across 18,600 villages cooperative societies of Gujarat, handling about 35 million liters of milk every day, which is about 12 billion liters annually, and with a sales turnover of approximately 11 billion US dollars. That was our turnover last year. Amul has been ranked as the strongest food brand in the world, strongest dairy brand in the world also. And India is the largest producer of milk in the world because this Amul model was replicated across the length and breadth of the country. And today, 1/4 of the total milk in the world is produced in India. In the next 10 years, 1/3 of the total milk in the world will be produced in India. And it's a demonstration of the power of the cooperative model, actually, that how small farmers, most 80% of our members are landless or marginal farmers, they come together and use the power of a cooperative to create a brand which is consumer facing, India's most trusted food brand, growing nationally and globally. And more importantly, it's also a very powerful model of women empowerment, because all the work is done by the women, which is basically the job of cattle rearing, which is so difficult. And today I'm happy to say that more than 1/3 of our total members are actually women with money directly going to their bank accounts. So this is a very powerful tool for socio-economic development, for women empowerment, and more importantly, giving faith in the model of cooperation and cooperatives, that cooperatives can become actually a tool for development. And this is what this organization has been doing with the purpose of development of its people, using the model of cooperatives, the brand Amul, and of course, marketing to 1 billion consumers.
I think that the numbers you're talking about are staggering, aren't they? And I think what I find incredibly interesting is the huge scale of what Amul and other huge cooperatives do, but then how that impact cascades down to the individual farmers. So I guess my next question would be, how do you see being a cooperative enabling you to work better?
So basically, milk has been used as a tool for development. So it's basically the cooperative works to develop the people, uplift their socio-economic standards, and so to say, empower them in whatever way you can do it. But economic prosperity is a very, very strong indicator. Going up the social economic ladder is also a very, very important tool of development. And this is what this model has been successfully doing in India for the last 80 years. The good part of our model, and that too, particularly with reference to India and the world, when a consumer spends equivalent of, say, $1 on Amul products in the country, the producer gets 2/3 or more. It's about 75 to 80% share of what a consumer spend, $1 or a rupee or a pound or a euro, goes back to the farmer. Now, this is the largest ratio anywhere in the world, because a European milk producer, an American milk producer, an Australian, New Zealand milk producer will get only 1/3 share of the consumer spend, whereas in our case, it's more than 75, 80%. So which means that you eliminated the middleman and become a bridge between the producer and consumers. So it is adding value both, not just to the producer, but also to the consumers, because the consumer gets value for money products. We are market leaders in every single dairy product category that we operate. And producers are assured of a livelihood, and they get the best price of milk, and compared to even not just within India, anywhere in the world. So this is a very, very powerful tool, apart from the other elements which I mentioned about the empowerment of women, to becoming a tool of development, to actually addressing most of the SDGs. Now, if you look at the SDGs, the cooperative dairy model will take care of most of the SDGs. I mean, I can count 12 to 14 actually out of the 17, 18. So this is what you are able to demonstrate it on the ground using this model, and that too consistently over the last 80 years.
You've given some really great examples there of how your cooperative really impacts your members. Have you got any other stories you can tell us about the difference that you have made to your members or communities?
The most important part, as I mentioned, is that India's population increased multifold from 1947 when we got independent to now, when we are the most population nation in the world. But what's also important is the per capita availability of milk also increased dramatically. And from about 100, 110 grams per person per day in 1950s to it's now almost 500 grams per person per day. So with a multifold increase in population, with important production of a nutritious item in which India is not just self-sufficient, as I mentioned, will now become a dairy to the world. So this all happened without prices dropping a bit, but more importantly, production increasing to take care of the demands of the consumers. So this it's a shining example of how cooperative benefits the entire nation. And the fun fact is, few people know that milk is the largest agricultural crop of India. And when I say this, India is amongst the largest producer of wheat in the world, amongst the largest producer of paddy in the world, amongst the largest producers of sugar in the world. Okay, but the value of output of milk is more than all the three combined. So milk is more than wheat plus paddy plus oil seeds or sugar. And that's how it is giving livelihood to more than 80 million families of the country. So that's one important way of telling that here a cooperative acts as a catalyst, and India not just becomes the largest producer of milk in the world, it also becomes a source of livelihood to such a large number of people across the country. There are many such examples that a brand owned by a cooperative, the name Amul, as you can see here, is also a shining example of how the farmers actually are taking care of all the three aspects of the business: the production, the procurement of milk, the production of the products, and the marketing of the products, all done by a single farmer owned cooperative business. So this again is a very good example of the demonstration of a model for a country as large as our size, and still both ends are very happy. And while I talked about the numbers and you also mentioned about it, our currency actually is not milk. Our currency is trust. And because we have to keep the trust of our billion consumers and millions of producers, the entire organization serves as a bridge to increase that. And that's what we keep doing it. And that keeps us going.
You mentioned being a catalyst, and I can see how that is being demonstrated at Amul. Is that also one of the reasons why you decided to join the CM50 to increase that catalyzing internationally?
Yes, I'm thankful to ICA for actually setting up the CM50. And once I got this invitation, I was very happy that you get a chance to bond with the cooperative leaders and business leaders from across the world. There's a lot to learn from everybody's examples. Okay, and whatever we can learn from the experience of the world, maybe whatever we can share what's happening in our part of the world, it would enrich this entire cooperative model. And end of the day, the survival of any cooperative organization is also related to how it appears in front of the consumers and also how it translates that benefits to its members. And this is an ideal platform to the best of my understanding and knowledge. And we would actually learn from each other. Having said that, the expansion of Amul model also has a strong foundation of cooperation between cooperatives. So last year, when we launched our milk in the US, we tied up with the 108-year-old dairy cooperative in US, the Michigan Milk Producers Association. We worked with them to launch our fresh milk products, and I'm happy to say that the results have been very good. And Amul today is the only national brand of milk in the US, which means that you get an Amul gallon pack of full cream milk with 6% fat in more than 35 states, both in mainstream retail to the Indian grocery stores and the mom and pop stores. And there's no such brand because every US has a lot of regional brands. And same in US, when we launched our milk in Europe a couple of months back, we tied up with a cooperative in Spain. And they also established in 1958 one of the very, very reputed brands called Co-op. And with their support, we launched our milk first in Portugal, Spain, then Portugal, and now this month we're going to launch in entire leading countries of Europe, be it Germany, Switzerland, or France. So this is a symbolic effort of cooperation between cooperatives, and for a perishable product like milk and an Indian brand like Amul, it is helping us get inroads into different parts of the world.
And what would you like the CM50 to achieve, both in Doha and beyond the World Social Summit?
So I think this is a platform which will continue to do good. As I mentioned, the exchange of ideas between the members, the business leaders of the different countries will be very, very enriching. And I think the leadership which ICA provides or the umbrella ICA provides will actually become a very important aspect for us to be working closely with each of the members, take support of the ICA and the team there, and more importantly, cascade the benefits of the experience that we've learned from others into our business operations and improve the well-being of our members. So really, it's a wonderful initiative, and I'm really thankful to the entire team there for believing in the power of cooperatives, using the strength of the business across the world, and furthering this moment to much greater heights.
And my final question, Dr. Mehta, is of course the International Year of Cooperatives was launched in New Delhi in India in November 2024. How has the year been for you at Amul? And also, in your own words, how do co-ops build a better world?
I think it's been a fantastic thing, because the 130th annual session of ICA was in Delhi last year in November. Prime Minister announced it. But see, and entire country has actually taken up in a very, very wonderful way. Maybe it's not just cooperatives like us who've been spreading the word around, but many, many other organizations have been doing this. I mean, you walk into any Indian airport and you will see the logo of International Cooperative Year spread across. You look at the railway tickets, you look at print publications, you look at multiple other non-related organizations also showing the strength of this cooperative movement, and also promoting and telling to the world that this is an International Year of Cooperatives declared by the United Nations, and obviously 2025 is here to celebrate. I mean, there are several, different forums in which whatever activities we do under IYC is being discussed and replicated. So the world's largest, religious festival, the Kumbh Mela, I'm sure you would have heard of it, happened where more than, so to say, 650 million people participated over a matter of about 2 months. IOIC was there, and any national or international event, we obviously take this opportunity to talk about the power of cooperatives. Our government actually realized the importance of spreading it in a much more structured manner 5 years back. And a new Ministry of Cooperation at the central level was the first time set up in India, after 75 years of our independence. And that Ministry of Cooperation, headed by Mr. Amit Shah, who's also a veteran cooperative leader who understands this nuances of how cooperatives work better, he's been heading it. And in this ministry has been conducting multiple initiatives. In fact, cooperatives like us are acting as startup incubators for several new multi-state cooperatives in the country, be it for organics, be it for exports, be it for seeds, even for mobility. We will be launching it. We have already announced the launch of a new organization called Sehkar Taxi, which is basically a cooperative taxi, which will be an app-based, mobile application-based cab hailing, or two-wheeler or a three-wheeler hailing services, much on the likes of Uber, and Lyft for that matter. So this is what cooperatives trying to impact people across the multiple sectors, across, be it agriculture or be it production of multiple other items to drivers. And that's the spectrum of cooperatives, which is broadening and this. So the term which you mentioned, if you were to explain in one line, is a message which actually in Hindi is Sehkar se Samruddhi. With cooperation, we bring progress. And that's what has been also the line for this year 2025 IYC. So this actually sums up. And when Amul started, we had coined this. The first line was "Vina sahkar nahi udhar." So without cooperation, there is no progress. And this is what this organization has been living its entire 8 decade of its journey so far, with the basic purpose of cooperation built in the DNA. And obviously, when we spread this message to the world, it becomes a very, very powerful message for demonstrating the power of cooperation, power of cooperatives, and in societies like us, where there are a large number of people who are looking to develop themselves and move above their current levels of socioeconomic standards. This is the right time for us as cooperatives to show the power of the model, of the thought of people working together, and also prove a very strong alternative to the other powerful model in the world, which is capitalism. And together, actually, we can make a big difference to the lives and well-beings of the entire planet.
Dr. Jayen Mehta, thank you so much for your time.